Hey guys. The world is always a beautiful place. It may not seem that way. And we can, some of us could attribute that statement to bias or whatnot. But when it comes down to it, in a way, I feel like I kind of know, actually, that all of us want to be the hero unconsciously in this story of life. What does that mean? Well, going back to the point where I'm saying everything is like beautiful, right? Even the things that we're nihilistic about, we, at some weird point that is hard to see. My hair is so fucking out there. We take a optimistic approach all the time. You'll hear some of the most nihilistic people. It seems like they have no hope in the words they're saying, but they're saying those words. If you can really decode, if you will, what it means to express how you feel, you'll find that anyone who is expressing some very negative point of view, something that seems like it's void of hope, they're always kind of asking for help in the back of their mind, which is also ran by survival instincts. You'll find that those people have some deep-rooted optimism that what they're doing right now can lead to the betterment of themselves. Now, in moments where people are like offing themselves, I hate to get that dark, but you'll notice it's pretty much against your nature to do that. We can do things that are against our own nature. Even fear is optimistic, that we are optimistic of escaping something that could be bad for us. So going against our own nature and the aspect of suicide will have a lingering unconscious force that causes us to hesitate. Or in some cases, people will believe there's something better on the other side for that autism, for that nihilism. I don't know, optimism. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to say it like that. There's always some sort of optimism hidden in everything. Always. Whether delusional or not, whether it's like that hopeless, it seems. There always is. These cars, it might be loud. But in that sense, the world is a beautiful place because we can think that it's all just chemicals, it's all just how we are brought to being, but why? Why do we have survival instincts to begin with? We can accredit that easily, but not accurately, to, oh, this chemical, that chemical. We can simplify an atom to look like a dot as if it's representing everything. But let's go deeper. Why, in our heart's heart, does anything alive have this survival mechanism, this eternal optimism, no matter what? Why is that? It has to do with the soul. A lot of people deny the soul exists, but it does exist. And it's a very simple way of saying it does. People may get tricky with the definition, like, oh, this is what a soul is. That's what a soul is. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is what I think a soul is, and whatever my definition of it internally is what I mean. And you can put your own correct word onto that if you want to. We're not trying to be like fucking ontologically correct about the English language here. I'm trying to make a point. Now, that being said, for all my philosophy nerds who may question my use of words, the soul. What does it mean to me? What am I describing? How should you internalize what I'm saying? How I wish you could internalize it. You're going to do what you want. Soul. To me, that is our meaning. That is what pushes our lives. That is why we're here. What we all have in common are what we can describe as our oneness nature, as some people will say. And this is where we have our eternal optimism, which is our survival instincts, which is what leads us to evade fear and danger. It's not like optimism is a totally good thing all the time. It's interruptive delusion like everything else is. But we have this eternal optimism. This causes us, even in our most doom-like moments, to express ourselves in ways, even if it seems the most nihilistic and devoid of hope. It isn't. There's always this core of optimism. Okay? And why is that important? Because we stray so much from this optimism that we allow ourselves to take solace in things that are actually delusional, because we have a idea that nihilism is what will save us, which is an optimistic outlook on nihilism. That's not to say that us expressing our discontents isn't a useful thing for our development, but we can get wrapped up into it. We can take too much solace, become addicted to this negativity, literal negativity. And we don't go anywhere that we could. I'd say a proper optimism is when you're in a bad situation, okay? And when you're in that bad situation, you don't self-pity. You don't pity others. You're not overly cynical. You look around and think, what can I do about this right now? If there seems like there isn't something to do, you think, this isn't going to last forever. I can become stronger after this. You think, by any means, if a miracle were to occur, if it seems like there's no hope, things will be better. And if not, if there's no miracle that happens, maybe if it's not a life or death situation, you don't want to die like that. So you go into this mode where if you're fully unable to prevent your death, given this extreme situation, because I like to go to extremes when it comes to this type of thing, because I don't like to leave anything left out. At the fucking logs. At the very least, what you can do, you can be optimistic about a new life, an afterlife. You can be optimistic about what you've left behind. You can be optimistic about so many things. And when we focus on the negative, we're not seeing our accomplishments or our potential. We're not seeing how beautiful things are. We're not seeing how beautiful it is, our nature to survive. We're not seeing the beauty in how we express ourselves. We're not seeing the beauty in that core. I think it's important that we do. No, I know it is. And this is because, like I've mentioned throughout the whole video, that's how we survive. And why do we want to survive? What do we know deep down? And this isn't like we're all surviving based on just some guess. It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. It's not like we're surviving based on some fear. Everyone naturally accumulates to some sort of religion. Everyone naturally has some sort of optimism where they'll be attracted towards something they can feel sure in. We've established this by now in many philosophical spheres, but if you haven't heard it already, if you don't believe in religion but you're a hardcore scientist, then your God is science. Your religion is science. We're all attached to that. We all hold on to hope, one way or another. That's what we have in common. We all hold on to love, and unless you have like a really fucked up brain, which happens with birth defects, like you become a psychopath, God forbid, you're going to have in common that you don't like seeing anyone in pain. And if you see people in pain, you're going to feel for them one way or another. Unless you have like that brain defect, like I said. But it all comes down to what we all have in common, our core, our optimism, our hope. Don't stray into illusion that causes you to hate yourself or others. Go into, how can this person heal? What is the best course of action for myself and others simultaneously? What can I do with this that is a net positive for me and or others? But never me and not others. Like as in never hurting people or yourself, but what can I do? I can make my life and others better. How can I spend my life in a way that where I create my meaning, I find it for myself, inspire others? How can I do that? These are some of the questions we should be asking ourselves. Instead of putting ourselves down, we should learn to take pride in our resilience, our eagerness to achieve and chase our dreams, our defiance of those who tell us we can't do something. The effort we put in, not to prove them wrong, but to make it so we find out we're right. What can we say to help someone else understand, but not from a place of we need them to understand, but more so, how can I help this person in pain who's trying to stray me away to understand that their perspective is hurting me and others? How can I create a better world by affecting others if someone else is making you think nihilistically? These are all a bunch of hypotheticals I'm kind of throwing out based on the same thing, but it's useful. It is. We have to learn to think this way because we all have dreams. We all affect the world one way or another, no matter what. If we're around people, even if we don't talk or anything, we're affecting people by our lack. Even our lack affects people. So how can we, knowing that we're going to exist, deep down knowing that it's best to figure things out always than to give up, because it's better to know something and progress through the world wise. How can we get wise, and how can we be optimistic about delusion, and how can we not be sucked into negativity? That's important. So, that being said, if you're down in some sort of dumps, living in some fucking hellish fucking existence, focus on what you're able to do. Focus on what you can do with the things you're able to do to make it so you can do more things. Keep doing that. Focus on those you can affect so that they can take restraints off of you. And if you can leave those people or things, focus on what may be holding you back. And this goes for your mind too. Focus on what may be holding you back in your brain. What doesn't make you feel good? What is something that you're not entirely sure about? This can even be a positive thing. Look into it. Always look into these things. And I guess I don't want to bloat the video. There's a lot to say, but take in this, okay? This is how you should think in a healthy, optimistic way, and why everything is inherently optimistic. Don't be mad at people if you can. You're going to get mad, but try to stay positive in the healthy ways and the realistic ways. Be resourceful. And I guess that's all I gotta say. Peace.